Rapture connection of the bride remnant with the Feast of Trumpets, or Rosh HaShanah. Some scriptures apply to the bride and the remnant escape. If we pay attention to the following, we will realize that Pentecost is the betrothal and Hebrew wedding and Rosh Hashanah is the wedding ceremony. So the solo bride must be transferred for the betrothal. Rosh Hashanah is also known as the time of the coronation of the king. The Rosh Hashanah meal includes the challah loaves, which are round loaves, drenched in honey, shaped like crowns, suggesting kingship and reminding us of the crowns of reward laid up for the righteous. Rosh Hashanah is also called the Natsal, which is symbolic of the day of the resurrection of the righteous dead and taking up of the living righteous. Rosh Hashanah is also known as Kiddushin Nesuin, which is the Messiah's wedding ceremony. The Feast of Pentecost is the betrothal in terms of a Hebrew wedding, while Rosh Hashanah is the full wedding. This feast is also known as the feast of which no man knows the day or hour. This is because it's the only one that begins on the sighting of the new moon. It is celebrated over 2 days to allow for any discrepancy in the moon rise and the sighting of it. As such, ancient observers would watch for the new moon, but would not know the day and hour within 2 days. We most certainly will know the time and season. The feast of Rosh Hashanah is also called Yom Teruah, meaning the awakening trumpet blast. Teruah is also translated as shout. Isaiah 44 verse 23, Zephaniah 3 verse 14, Zechariah 9 verse 9. Teruah in Hebrew means a specific sort of trumpet blast, one in which the sky is shattered and broken by the sound. I found that teruah is the strongest word in the whole Bible, indicating great exuberance and expectation. The teruah shout is used to represent an expression of joy and great exuberance, the shout of a king. It is also a battle cry. It is the shout to gather the people when the camp is to be moved. The feast is also known as Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment. This looks forward to all the severe judgments of the tribulation period. But for us believers, this would be a classical reference to the work of the cross of Messiah and the judgment of rewards stored up for us as we enter heaven. This is also the time the false Messiah is revealed and let loose on the earth. We could say that Yom Hadin represents the start of the tribulation period, with the transfer of the bride way before and the escape of the bride's remnant at its beginning. Rosh Hashanah is also called Yom Hakesh, the hidden day. Quite simply, this means to hide away. The feast of Rosh Hashanah incorporates the Tashlich ceremony, which speaks of casting off and of new beginnings. At the ceremony, sins are symbolically cast off, leaving the participant with a new beginning. This speaks to us as believers of the final enemy contained in our flesh being destroyed as we receive new resurrection bodies. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 26. This ritual Tashlich, symbolizing the casting of sins and the new beginning, is performed in the late afternoon at dusk. In those days, the time period at dusk, just after sunset and just before night, was called the twinkling of an eye. I hope I don't need to say anything more about that. The first watch, escape. Psalm 27 verse 5, in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion, in the secret place of his tabernacle. Isaiah 26 verse 20 and 21, come my people, enter your chambers and shut your doors behind you. Hide yourselves as it were for a little moment until the indignation. Tribulation is past. For behold, the Lord comes out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth will disclose her blood and will no more cover her slain. The next major prophetic event is first the transfer of the bride and the escape of the bride remnant. We must take into account that in other countries the month of September is the end of the winter season and the beginning of the spring. This fits perfectly with the wedding at sunset on a spring day. This can also be a protection tactic for the bride and to confuse the enemy.